8 months ago, Bugatti told him this car was finished. Not damaged, finished. They locked its VIN. They refused to sell a single part. Their own CEO went on record questioning whether it should be rebuilt at all. Now that same YouTuber is walking into Bugatti's private space at the biggest car event on the planet, about to sit down with the man who tried to stop him. So how does someone a company shut out end up inside their private room? To answer that, we have to go back to a workshop and a car nobody thought would run again. Mat Armstrong isn't a mechanic by trade. He's a British YouTuber who built a following rebuilding some of the most expensive wrecks in the world. In late 2025, he took on the hardest one yet. A Bugatti Chiron Pure Sport, one of only 60 ever built, crashed badly enough that Bugatti's own repair estimate ran into 7 figures. It wasn't even his car. He took it on for a fellow content creator who refused to let it go to scrap. By August 2026, the project has reached its most visible stage. Panels are marked for paint. The final body shape, how wide, how aggressive, is being locked in for good. And Armstrong is about to fly to California, needing one more thing from the one company least inclined to give it to him. Back in the shop, the decision on the table looks simple. How wide should the arches go? It isn't. Bugatti never engineered this car to wear a body kit. Every extra millimeter of width has to be fought for, fabricated and fitted by hand. But that decision only matters because the car exists to make it at all, and Bugatti didn't want it to, which raises the real question underneath this whole project. If the manufacturer wanted this Chiron gone, how is it sitting in a shop weeks from paint at all? The answer starts with a number, $1.7 million. That was Bugatti's own quote to repair the car through official channels. When the owner turned it down, Bugatti didn't just walk away. It locked the vehicle identification number, cutting off every authorized dealer from supplying parts. CEO Mat Armstrong spoke publicly about the decision, pointing to a shattered gearbox housing and structural damage to the monocoque, and warning that an independent repair on a car this complex could be dangerous. Armstrong pushed ahead anyway. Unable to buy Bugatti parts, his team commissioned a custom wide-body kit from a shop in Dubai, cost around $700,000, and started cutting and adapting the car's original carbon panels to make it fit. By the time he's finished, Armstrong will have spent more fighting for permission than most people spend on the car itself. Subscribe now, because what Bugatti does next, nobody saw coming. Here's what most of the coverage missed. While Bugatti was publicly raising safety concerns, Rimac was privately watching the build unfold, episode by episode, and at some point, something shifted. Bugatti eased its own parts blacklist. It lowered its original repair estimate. The company that said this project shouldn't happen started making it slightly easier to happen anyway. This was never a clean story of rebel YouTuber against faceless manufacturer. It was two sides feeling out how far the other was willing to go, which is exactly what Armstrong is walking into Monterey to test. This particular car week isn't just any car week for Bugatti. It's the one marking the handover from one era to the next. The Chiron, Armstrong's car among them, is on its way out. In its place, the Tourbillon, an all-new hypercar built around a naturally aspirated 8.3-litre V16, co-developed with Cosworth, paired with 3 electric motors for a combined output near 1,800 horsepower. Bugatti says it'll hit 62 miles per hour in under 2 seconds and top out above 270. Only 250 will ever be built, each starting north of $4 million. There's an irony sitting in the middle of Bugatti's own stand this week. While the company shows off the car built to replace the Chiron, one of the last Chirons in existence is fighting to survive, kept alive by the very people the manufacturer spent months trying to keep out. The conversation covers the tourbillon, the direction of the brand, and eventually, the Chiron. What Armstrong needs now sounds almost trivial for a car this expensive. A windscreen. But for a VIN that was blacklisted 8 months ago, nothing about getting that part is trivial. Every piece Bugatti agrees to release is proof the freeze it imposed is still thawing. Whether that windscreen actually makes it into his hands is still playing out. But the fact that this conversation is happening at all, in person, at Bugatti's own stand, tells you how far things have already moved. So, how does someone Bugatti tried to shut out end up in their private room? Because persistence forced a company built around control to make a choice, keep fighting a very public, very watched battle, or start quietly working with the person winning it. Bugatti chose the second option, one small concession at a time. This was never really a story about a windscreen, or even about one crashed Chiron. It's a preview of a fight every manufacturer will eventually have. What happens when an independent rebuild gathers millions of viewers and the company that made the car can no longer just make it disappear? By the time Armstrong's Chiron finally turns a wheel again, it won't just be a car that came back from the wreckage. It'll be one of the last of its kind, a piece of Bugatti's outgoing era, rebuilt with help from the company already moving on to the next one.